And just like that, Burning Rangers on the Sega Saturn. My first ever Sega Saturn game I've ever finished. I never really owned one, but yeah, that's it. What a short game. Deserves to be something bigger. I can't wait to play the remake. But yeah, I finished Burning Rangers. Burning Rangers and the stugger speed of Burning Rangers. Okay, I tried. I That song's been stuck in my head, but I've been trying to sing it. I've been trying. I promise. But what's up, guys? Vince Riley here, and yeah, we're about to talk about some games that I just finished. Emulation wise, baby. Anyways, we got Burning Rangers, my first ever Sega Saturn game that I finished. I never owned a Sega Saturn. Then again, I don't really know or remember. I guarantee I probably was still a fetus back then when this, like, I don't know when the Sega Saturn was out actually. Like during, like, I was probably also a fetus when, like Halo dropped. If anybody knows what that year is specifically, I don't know when. I think it was before 2005. But yeah, we're talking about Burning Rangers, which is an amazing game that I finished. It's so short. It is so short. And I wish that there was more. There was Burning Rangers 1 and 2, 3. Like, I wish there was a freaking anime. This would be an amazing anime, though. Like, that would be nice. Even though some of the characters and their, like, I seen the profile of Big Landon, and yes, that's his name. And I'm like, you could just give him a name, like, he's like a person like everyone else. And they have the audacity to say he's like from Africa. I'm like, what? He doesn't like, do you even know if there's like also Africans in America? Like, I get that this game is from Japan, and basically they, even with the naming kind of stuff, like it was like they had a girl named Chris, Chris, instead of Kris. Even though there are some girls with that, particular name, Chris with a C, but it's like, man, these Japanese folks have no idea how to freaking form a diverse group that is from the United States. It's like, it's expected. It's cute. It's funny, but it's like, man, that is like, come on, it's not that hard. It's not. Then again, internet wasn't a thing back then. During this time, this game was released, but yeah, this game itself has a lot of notes from Night Dreams, since that's like the biggest game in Sega Saturn. When you think about Sega Saturn, you have your Sonics, your Sonic R, Daytona, and also Knights. But for this particular game right here, Burning Rangers, at least from, finishing it, from the boss battles, and basically it doesn't have a lot. I wish it had a lot. I wish there was enough to indulge of what this game can offer, but it's just that we got into the climax immediately, and it's like what? And also, though, especially in the second level, in the second, mission, where there was something suspicious going on, and I was like, okay, what? I wonder what's going on. Like, what is this suspicion? And it was like, oh, it's just a monster. Like, they don't explain. I wish they explained more of what this game could have. If this was like, maybe, and maybe it was like I know there was Sega Saturn games that were heavy packed, they were big, and maybe I wasn't into those types of franchises. But if this was like, I was thinking, like, if this was like released in PS1, PS2, would Burning Rangers would have like a bigger story? Would it have like a bigger dialogue of like, behind the characters, behind, the story of like, especially how, I don't know if this is spoilers. This is not really spoilers, even though it's somewhat is, because it is a short game. There was a new character introduced in literally the beginning, like not the beginning, the ending credits, introduced to a new character. Do we ever get to play that character? Absolutely not. But apparently, I guess, they expect a new one. I was like, there's so many parts of this game. I don't know if I'm getting the same deja vu vibes with when reviewing the movie, the new, like, basically the last Sailor Moon movie that I reviewed. And this is sort of reminding, me, because as I'm reviewing this, I'm like, that's it? It's like the same thing. That's it, really. That's all we get. That's all we get. Burning Rangers, even though this was released like freaking decades ago. But yeah, I was like, damn, this could have been. This was like a gem that I wanted to play, and I play well. And pretty much not a lot of Sega Saturn games emulate very correctly when it comes down to ever emulating them in the first place. I was like, damn, it's like this is hard. Like, give me one like that works properly. But this one works very fine. It's just that with other Sega Saturn games that I want to review, yeah, they're yeah. Anyone's luck is better than mine at this point because woof, man, the emulation is not agreeing with me with this Sega Saturn. I don't know what it is with the system that's hard, but I know that it's tough, and I know that Sega has an amazing amount of games, and they're all like acquired, very well with emulation. But for this one, yeah, it works fine. It's just that with the other ones that I trying to think, like, man, I'm kind of worried. So if there was Burning Rangers 2, I would hope that would work, but there isn't. And yeah, the gameplay was amazing, shooting mechanics, the way I know that it takes a lot to get used to of actually. And also the timing of you getting out when the fire is coming near you or something like that. Oh, excuse me. When something is coming at you with the fire, blasts, there's certain moments where you gotta think very carefully and also react quickly in this game. It is a fire mission, you're saving people in this game that are, children or whatever, from the disasters that basically the whole building is on fire and you're rescuing them and teleporting them. It's a futuristic fireman simulator, basically. And it does it very well in the gems, and especially how it has the rhythm tones of each game, especially being from the Sonic team that created this. It sort of have that same influence in a sense. But from what I got, it was short. There was not a lot. I feel like there could have been a lot. The development of the characters, I was so interested, but it's they don't bother. And also the soundtrack was amazing. There's some gaming mechanics of this where especially the shooting levels and the segments of different other aspects other than the usual platforming. But the platforming wasn't bad. The boss battles were good. And also I would never consider of actually being Sega Saturn maybe it has some fire platformers that I don't know about. I can only think about Rayman at the moment for some reason, and maybe some Sonic games. But yeah, for this one, I guess it's sort of the best so far from what I know that is close to Rayman levels, because again, I never grew up with a Sega Saturn. I grew up with a PS1. But other than that, yeah, that's just my thoughts about Burning Rangers. I enjoyed it. Let me know what you think if you ever played this game, or for those that are grandpas that played this game. I'm kidding with you. You're probably 40 and you played this when you were a teenager or in college or maybe, I don't know, at your prime as a president. But anyways, I'll see you when I see you. One love and a peace. And yeah, just giving you my thoughts of, a person in mid-20s talking about Burning Rangers. Because I got a good amount, and especially giving you my perspective as of now. One love and a peace. God bless.